Including snacks.
What it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage. That there is the homie Sin. You know who's here with us? This is the incredible Kevin Hock.
Yes.
The incredible
Welcome.
Kevin Hock.
So, thanks for having me.
Of course. You know what? No, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody where we are?
We're in, this is Luckie's Liquors in Power Plant Live.
It is.
It's a super charming mock-up dive bar. I love it.
I dig it.
They have like 1 million beers, all in cans.
Yeah.
And then the I love nuts sign. She can get that later.
I'm sure that there are nuts here somewhere. You come for the beer, not for the nuts. Got it. Not sure.
I've never thought of that. You would think.
There's a sign.
Hey, look, but there's so many.
I'm sure it's not a reference.
Let me just keep my mouth shut.
I always assumed it was a reference to something. I don't know if
Probably is, but I don't know what it is. What I do know is that we are here to talk about Nerdpocalypse.
Yes.
So what is Nerdpocalypse?
Nerdpocalypse 2.
Nerdpocalypse 2.
The second annual Nerdpocalypse.
Second coming.
April 6th in Power Plant Live. It's basically a cross between a bar crawl and a convention, really. But it's basically taking all the aspects of a convention where it's just the party. So I met a lot of people, I can fill you in on that, but I met a lot of people who just love the party part.
Yeah.
So, every bar is a different fandom. So this year we're doing Game of Thrones,
Okay.
Harry Potter, which is always a hit. We're doing superheroes versus villains.
Okay.
That's a room. We're doing Pokemon.
Okay.
I forget one
So-
probably. Oh, we're bringing back Mr. Freeze's Chill Zone, which is essentially the beer garden. They have a listening party where they play slow jams for an hour, and we watch Batman versus Robin because obviously, why would we pick a good Mr. Freeze movie? We're not going to do that. I mean, is there a good Mr. Freeze movie?
Yes.
The cartoon one?
It's,
Yeah,
yes,
all
it's
right.
animated. That's right.
Sub-Zero.
That's right.
I know
That's
about
it.
Batman.
That's the one.
But
That's the one.
so yeah, those are the different bars.
So why Nerdpocalypse? I mean, why Nerdpocalypse 2? I mean,
Right.
we were here at the first one.
Right, you were.
We enjoyed it.
Good.
But why Nerdpocalypse?
I met you guys at AwesomeCon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
AwesomeCon. So I wanted to be creative, and I wrote a comic book called Fantasy Killer. You guys know about that? So I went. I did as many cons as I could on weekends. I went as far as Wizard World Cleveland, down to Raleigh, Wizard World, AwesomeCon, Baltimore Comic Con. But I met like a culture of people. I mean, I've been a nerd before I knew I was a nerd.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like 90s X-Men cartoon and 90s Batman cartoon were like, loyal to me. They were everything. And life, yeah. And, even the live action Turtles and all that stuff. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That would be the 90s one, by the way. That's what I'm talking
Right,
about. But anyways, I was a nerd before I even knew I was a nerd. But there was still a culture of people that had kind of started that I didn't know existed. I knew that we all liked this stuff. By we all, I mean certain people. I don't mean we all.
Right.
But I didn't realize that it was turning into such a strong following. I mean, maybe it was, Marvel or the X-Men movies and all that stuff. It all, became a strong thing. So anyways, I met a lot of people and I met cosplayers. I didn't know anything about cosplayers until these conventions, And at first they were kind of intimidating. I didn't know what to think. They kind of didn't come near my table at first, so I was like, okay. But it turned out it turned into a family of people that recognized that I was from around here, and they started supporting my comic, and I would share their stuff, and we just started to know each other, and I just learned that these are people just like everybody else who love to party.
Yes.
Which now I know. I didn't know back then, but now I know harder than most people that think they know how to party. These people that go to cons really party.
Yes, they
and I just thought that
That's a fact.
we could get together more than just conventions and be around people who like the same things as us.
Yeah.
And I mean, you talked earlier about this sports bar. Like people go to the sports bar and you can look over the guy next to you and be like, these freaking Orioles this year are not going to be good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you could say that.
Right.
Whereas at our parties, you literally can look at some random person next to you and say, so who's gonna really die in Endgame? You know what I mean? And
Team Cap or Team Iron Man.
and they're just gonna and they're just gonna answer you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not weird. I mean, there's some introverts, but I take that as I also love that because there's been people I've watched at the smaller nerd parties I do come out of their shells, and it's one of the coolest things.
Because they're around their people.
Right. So I skipped over a thing or two, but to bridge the gap, I've been in the music scene since I was a teenager, and I turned into a promoter, and then it became my job, and I was a promoter for live live local bands.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's my heart. But when I also started doing this stuff, the cons, I was like, why am I not doing events?
Yeah.
They involve this. I love all this stuff.
Right.
I understand this stuff. We should do events. And that's kind of where it came from. And Nerdpocalypse is kind of the culmination of it for me. We call it a party con because instead of just one bar, it's all these bars. And like a con, all day there's stuff to do. Like there's, at one time you can choose between, we call it ridiculous karaoke, like Harry Potter themed karaoke.
Yeah.
You can pick between that, or you can go do Game of Thrones trivia.
Right.
Or there's a superheroes versus villain. I think we're doing good versus evil beer fest this year, where it's literally like the movie Beer Fest. We have Das Boots, we have drinking games, and it's like you have to be, one side is villains. And we have photos from last year where they're like facing off, and they look like they actually hate each other. I mean, it might have been
I remember that from last year.
couple beers, maybe they did hate each other. I don't know.
Last year was pong, like it was like beer pong, villains versus.
Yeah,
like,
so
Right.
Yeah,
No, but we had Das
Yeah,
Boot.
like-
We did the drink down the line,
Yeah.
and we did I don't know what it's called. The thing where you spin on the wiffle ball bat and have to,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And we had a "We're Not That Drunk" chant, which was the most important part to me. So anyways,
Sorry.
but all day there's wild stuff to do. We do a scavenger hunt. If you don't even want to drink, there's plenty to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
There is themed drinks. Each room has its own different free drink.
Long? Like this starts at what time?
It goes from 3 to 9.
Okay.
But then we have an after party that was pretty wicked last year.
Yeah.
We have a band doing the after party, Old Eastern. They're really fun. They have saxophone and a 70s Korg synth that they play.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a party rock thing where anybody can get into it. But earlier in the day, they're doing a tribute nerdy theme song set. They want to do an hour. I was like, you guys can play an hour of theme songs? Like, some of these theme songs last like 45 seconds.
You have it.
How many are you learning? But they're going to I think they're going to do about 45 minutes of straight. If it's not theme songs from a show or movie, it's at least like the most famous song from that movie.
Sure.
So I'm hoping for Hooked on a Feeling. I don't know, but
We'll
I would
see.
hope.
Will you sing it?
Will I sing it?
Yes.
I would love to.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
And that's the big thing about karaoke. When we do karaoke too, it turns into like not one person, but we're all on stage hugging each other, singing.
Yes.
And I think anytime you get somebody in a room and they all understand each other, that'll
That
happen.
kind
There's
of-
love.
yeah.
There's just this
Yeah.
mutual love, and so it's fun, man. It's fulfilling. It's exhausting, but it's gonna be great.
How does something like this come together? Like, obviously,
a good
I
question.
know there's a lot of prep. Like, how
Right.
does something like this come together? Like,
Yeah.
how long will you be here
Oh, wow.
with people putting things up?
Well, yeah, every day, all day right now, it's all Nerdpocalypse. I mean, we're doing a lot of concert festivals this year, and that's a lot of work too. But
Sure.
this is next week, and this is we're
Yeah.
yeah, it's all day, every day, and then that day we'll be here from the morning until I remember my body hurts so bad for days afterwards. I'm like, man, I'm actually getting old.
I don't know if you didn't know you were gonna throw that good of a party.
I'm in fact not Captain America, believe it or not. I can, it hurts. The body hurts.
Nobody has to know that. I mean, they'll know now.
Great. So all we have to do is not say it on film, and they will never know.
Sure.
I forgot. I can't forget this. We're doing it. It's essentially a Disney room, but we're doing a Under the Sea room this year with fairy tale trivia.
Yeah.
And then we're doing a Under the Sea conga line. I have bought a crab suit for someone. It will be led by a very cheap looking Sebastian the Crab.
Someone?
But we're gonna go. It's not gonna be me. I'll tell you that right now. I have to manage. Okay.
Sure.
Conveniently, I have to manage when things like that come up. But when somebody's singing a song I know, I'm suddenly free to jump off and sing with them.
Krusty Krab is managed by a crab.
Sebastian. It's Sebastian the Crab this time.
Got it.
But you're right, Krusty. Yeah.
Got it.
But if we're gonna go around, it's supposed to be. We might not go upstairs because it's steps, walls, and all that.
Yeah.
But complex-wide conga line from bar to bar.
I'm down.
Should be hilarious.
I'm down.
And I have a lot of random things. I don't want to give away all this stuff. But there's gonna be things that happen where people are like, I want people to be like, is this actually happening? Why is this happening? Did Kevin Hock plan this? Why did he plan it? I have so many questions. / thank you will be the last thing, hopefully, that they say.
That's the most important thing, is that I think people will say thank you.
I want it to be theater in some way.
Is there, okay, let me ask you this. So, with all the things that are going on, all the rooms, obviously, you have to manage.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you could be in any one room all day,
Well,
where would you be?
Okay.
What's your poison? Where would you be?
Superheroes versus villains, yeah. I mean,
Fair enough. Okay.
what would happen if I said the Under the Sea room? Like, guys,
Hey, listen,
I watch Little Mermaid 3 times a week.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of, but it'd be a little strange.
No, not amongst our people.
No, it wouldn't be.
Not amongst our
All right,
people.
fair enough,
I don't
fair
think
enough.
that would be.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be that
Look,
strange.
I'm not judging. You know, there's an under the sea room. It was my idea.
That's right.
Or if it was my wife's idea, it was her idea because
Right.
I'll be dead. I will not make it to Nerdpocalypse.
Let me ask you this: what's some of the feedback you've gotten from it after like last year that made you want to do it again? Like some of the positive stuff that you heard back from it?
It's cool, man. We're really lucky. People don't complain. Maybe it's just because there's not a lot of stuff like this, you know, and not a lot of opportunity for people to be around that many people that they get.
Yeah.
You know, people have said, you know, I wish there wasn't so much going on at once. But I'm like, well, we can't have a 24-hour event. I mean, we could.
Right.
I'm not sure Power Plant would be up for that, but
right.
you know, we got to fit it all in. And also, I like that. You know, if you like if you're more of an introvert, you can come play trivia.
Sure.
You don't have to sing karaoke. You know.
Right.
I mean, you should.
Yeah, you
but,
should.
But you know.
I mean, there's other stuff to do. There's Giant Connect 4.
This Giant Connect 4.
Giant
The
Jenga.
Charm City Ghostbusters will be here with the Ecto
Okay, I was
1.
gonna ask about
You can
them
get your
'cause they
photo
were
in front of that.
yeah.
There's going to be my wife right now is hand making an Iron Throne. Out of it's not swords. You know,
Okay.
she doesn't make swords. My wife, that would be
Okay.
awesome.
Yes.
But she's actually
She
she's a very very talented cake decorator,
Yeah.
and she's using that skill to build a huge Iron Throne. And we're doing a photo booth, so you
Oh,
can
that's
get
dope.
your photo on it. It's free to get your photo on the Iron Throne.
I'll be doing
you know.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think it'd be cool. Last year we did the we have the Harry Potter photo booth, the Azkaban prisoner one.
Yeah.
People love that. And then last year we did the Han Solo frozen in carbonite photos. They were
We
fun.
did the sorting hat last year.
Yeah, we hosted that. Yeah,
That was really cool.
that was fun.
We had a great time. All right, so listen. Here's what we're gonna because this is Nerdpocalypse and you're the king nerd.
I don't know about that.
Nerdpocalypse. I mean, well,
Of the apocalypse, you are.
you
Okay,
are.
I've never. I'll
You're
take
the
it.
king
I'll take
nerd.
it. People run stuff by me sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
It's
Should
okay.
I know what that is?
Nah, it's okay. It's okay
Is it
to
someone
not know
affiliated with Captain America?
And that's then you'll know. So are you team Iron Man or are you a team Cap guy?
All right, so this is funny. I'm
There's only one correct answer.
No, yeah, I'm obsessed with Captain America.
Okay.
You know, he
My guy.
all the feels
Okay.
for Captain America. Love him. Love the love storyline in the movies. Loved him in the comics way before that.
Okay.
It's the heart, man. I love Rocky. You know, so
Sure.
I think it's not surprising that Cap is you know my guy. And Spider-Man too. He's not in this question, but Spider-Man's got heart.
That's my guy.
You know.
That's my guy.
Right.
I don't necessarily like that they put him with Iron Man, but okay,
Right.
whatever.
Right. Well, yeah. But he changed in the comics. You know. I mean, but what's funny is I feel like I identify more with Tony Stark in real life. I have a smart mouth. I love his flash and his pizzazz and all that stuff. I love Tony Stark, but I think sometimes in this question you watch these movies and your heroes are who you want to be more like. It's not about who are you like.
Right.
You know, what I mean, I'm not saying I'm Tony Stark. I'm certainly not, but I'm saying like, you know, you see Cap's heart and that he always does the right thing, and that's I think I identify with
That's
that.
the-
And even when he's wrong, he's doing what he thinks is right. You know, and I never think he's
Isn't that-
wrong, by the way. He's not.
Isn't that?
But even if you think he's
Like-
wrong, it's because he's doing what he thinks is
Right.
right. You know.
He does what he
Yeah.
believes.
Isn't,
Tony does
isn't
things he
that
thinks
a
are
lot
wrong
of
all
what
the time.
This is though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if something like this comes from the heart, right? Like you
Yeah.
started going to cons
Sure.
and you met people who you didn't necessarily know were out there that were like you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And realized that they like to party the same way you do,
Yeah.
and you want to do something for people to be able to come and be around their people. To have somebody who's an introvert
Right.
be able to come and be around their people and meet people and,
Yeah.
and
And
kind
not
of get
have
out
to
of their
wait till
shell
those
and
cons, you know,
yeah,
cons pop up
and
and
things
stuff
like that. And so
Yeah,
that there is an
That's
honesty there.
that's
that-
lucky. It's
yeah.
lucky because you know
We're
if
in
I didn't
luckies.
get positive, we're in
Ah,
so
I see what
is that how
happened.
this
See what
works?
you did.
Is that- I didn't know I did it, but you know, it's one of those. I think there's certain jobs in the world that you're lucky enough. Like it's not just like, oh, I got a paycheck. Like you get to see a smile on somebody's face,
Sure.
or you know, if you're a doctor, you get to
Yes.
see them still live, the smile on their family's face. You know. But
kinda
I'm saying like
weird.
there's a lot of jobs that you know, and I'm lucky. It's a lot. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stress. Maybe because I'm in charge and I don't, you know. But there's a lot of stress, but I'm really fortunate, and my wife's really fortunate that we get to see that, and we get to see people
Yeah.
coming out of their shells, and the nerd community has suffered a lot of really tough losses in the past year or two.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
but we've banded together, man,
Yeah.
and that's really important because I don't think I wouldn't have been there for these people, you know, and they
Right.
wouldn't have been there for me if I didn't, you know, meet them in the first place,
Right.
and felt closer to them at these events. And,
Yeah, there certainly has been a solid, strong community built
yeah,
around.
I couldn't fathom going through some of that stuff if I didn't have them. You know?
Yeah, I dig it. All right, so look.
Oh wait, I gotta tell you something about
Uh-oh.
Iron Man. Hold on, man.
Uh-oh.
I forgot to tell you.
Uh-oh.
I forgot to tell you. I feel like I'm doing Tony Stark bad. You know, I'm doing him dirty.
Okay.
And I just want to say that you know I went into Infinity War and I said, we're gonna lose Cap or maybe Iron Man on this, but I thought it was Cap.
Sure.
I was like, we're
I
gonna
did
lose
too.
somebody.
I did too.
Yeah, and I was like, I think I even had a Facebook status. I was like, if we lose Cap this Friday, nobody talk to me for several days. I just need time. I'll be fine.
Right.
But then when Tony got stabbed by Thanos, I was like, oh no, I'm not ready. Don't take him. Don't take him from me.
Were you afraid he was gonna get dusted? Like even after he survived being stabbed, or like was there like a moment of
Iron Man? It was all happening so fast. I didn't know what to think.
process it? Yeah.
I will tell you one thing. People were gasping in the theater.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so you guys don't think they're coming back? Okay.
Sure.
Like, a couple,
I mean, I just think it's a surprise.
Gamora, maybe not.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man, I mean, like, have you
guys
guys?
greenlit already?
I mean, at this point, we've seen the trailer.
Yeah, but
this,
you don't
this
know
is clearly
what-
not a flashback. You know what I mean? Where it's
Or
like,
it
it's
could
like
be though.
blast from the past.
It
What?
could be a flashback. It
Come
could,
on.
It could take place
He's
before.
getting closer with Mary
He
Jane.
actually has a theory about that.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, he actually has a theory.
You know what? We'll talk about that later.
I feel like this is a theory that you came up with just to see if you can make it work intellectually. I feel like
I
there's
think
no
it
way
works.
you actually believe this.
No?
Nah, but you know why? Listen,
All right. I didn't think so.
No, I do. No, I really do.
All right.
Just because they like to trick us.
Okay.
That's what
They like
the
to pull the
you
wool
cannot
over.
trust the trailers.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, I love that.
You cannot trust
But
anyone
the
on
whole
trailer.
trailer?
Yeah. Well, no.
There's one thing to say, okay, Endgame's got some fake scenes in the trailer.
I will
But
tell you
just,
this.
Like, the whole thing was
Listen,
cool
listen,
in Infinity War.
not that you all are going to see all of this. We will keep rolling, though. When I explain it, I feel like you'll understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
I feel like, this is what I need you to do.
Uh-huh.
Tell everybody where they need to be on April 6th.
Okay. April 6th, Power Plant Live in Baltimore, Nerdpocalypse. 3 to 9 p.m., 3 to 11 p.m. if you want to get wild,
Yeah.
3 to unknown disclosed time if you really want to be a real superhero.
Okay.
Or villain, depending
Okay,
on
I
what
was gonna
drink
say,
suits
like,
you.
what- yeah, I was
no.
gonna say.
None of that.
That
we do
sounded
have,
like a
we do have
challenge.
we do have a luxury hotel deal this year. You
Okay.
can look it
Oh,
up
sweet.
on in the event page. 4-star hotel for just over $100. So
Not bad at all.
don't drive
That's
drunk.
great.
Uber.
No, absolutely not.
Whatever.
Absolutely not.
That's right.
That's where to be though. Nerdpocalypse by Transcendent Events.
We will be here.
Yes.
There's no
Definitely.
two ways about it.
Yes.
We will be here. Listen, thank you
Thank you guys.
so much for taking
We
the
definitely
time.
appreciate it.
Thanks
You
for having
guys know what to do and where to be.
On April 6th,
Be where we are.
join all of us.
We'll be
me. In
here.
Luckies.
Yes, yes.
Being
yes.
lucky.
Well, we'll be all over the
Yeah,
place.
if you don't
Yeah.
see us here, just look around.
We'll be all
around.
over the place and probably
Yeah.
be loud.
Big
Thanks,
shit.
Kevin.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kevin.
Thank you.
Loading snacks.